start from here, Pearson, and to what do you attribute that victory?
I was going to be frivolous by giving you a stupid answer, but by showing that we had a desire to keep the ball out of our net when things didn't go our way in the second half. I thought we showed an understanding of the right way to try and win that game. We knew it was going to be a day which we might not see as much of the ball as we would like, because we're playing against a side who are very accomplished at playing possession football, with good individuals and a very clear way of playing. So they are a good team. But I always felt that when we did have spells of possession, that we looked dangerous. So in the first half, they didn't really have too many situations that we were concerned about. But I thought we created some good opportunities. And to go 2 goals up is always, that gives you a bit of breathing space. But certainly, at the end, we're hanging on a little bit. But the desire of the players to keep the ball out of the net and get the bodies, to use a cliche, put the bodies on the line for the team and for our situation was, I think, clear for everybody to see, and that bodes well for us. It doesn't mean that that our season's saved for sure. We have to show that every week. But if you've seen us in the last few weeks, we've won games in different ways, and it's always important that your team are able to do that. So, at times we've played some really good football and won. Today it was about showing desire and character, and as well as ability, because let's not forget we scored 2 goals, and 2 good goals. And there, all right, there was a deflection on the second one, but a huge deflection on their goal as well. So I always try and reflect on games in a pretty honest and balanced way, and I would accept that they've had some really good situations, but I thought our team showed more desire.
Nigel, I know you kind of said there, it's not to say, you're not saying...
I can't look at you, Ian, without smiling. You don't really, and I saw what you did on your stag. Yeah,
that wasn't me.
Was it not? Okay.
And
but
you've got 20 guys.
No, all right.
Forcing you to do.
Go on, get on with your question. Come on.
I'm just saying the 6 or so games you've come in. What have you done? What have you changed? What was the most obvious thing you changed?
I think just keep things pretty simple. Try and create an atmosphere within the club in which people can associate themselves with and feel a part of. We maybe have lost a little bit of our identity in terms of that's not just how we play, but I think it's important that people understand what's expected of them and understand how we're trying to play. It's whether it's a case of showing leadership or not, I think that's a question for other people. For me, it really is trying to unite what we have, because we've got good players, and lots of good characters as well. I mean, it's not, when teams are at the bottom, I think there's always a suspicion that there might be something else going on, but I've seen lots of positive things here, and it's a good club with good people working for it, and that includes the players. But as a wider overview, it's a good football club, and it's got character, and what we need to do is reflect that on the pitch. And so there's a lot of hard work still to be done, and I think it would be foolish to think that the job's over. It's far from over. But we've given ourselves more of a chance now by getting back into contact with the pack.
And Nigel Deulofeu scored the one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's a really talented player. He's a great lad as well, by the way. And I might have made a mistake taking him off, but he's played a lot of football for us, and I think the thing with creative players, you've got to give them the framework to work in, and as long as he understands what we need when we don't have the ball, and by the way, he does work really hard. Players like him need the freedom to go out and express themselves, and that's one of the things that we've tried to do with our attacking, our offensive players, is to give them the freedom to go and play, and I think all players, and Jerry would be in that. He's one of our players. He needs to understand what's expected, but he also, I think, needs to know that he's valued by the coaching staff, and that's the players all bring different things to the team. And one of my favourite lines is to say, you are selected for what you can do rather than what you can't do. That's something that I've always talked to players about, and so in a squad of players, they all have different attributes, and they can't all do the same thing, but collectively we can defend better as a team, and collectively we can attack better as a team, and that's what we've tried to work at, is that the overall feel of what we're trying to do as a group allows then the individuals to shine a little bit more.
Nigel, what was your opinion of the yellow card
For what, sorry?
for the Cabaselli?
Well, I've not seen it yet, and I'm not trying to cop out of answering the question, but the players felt it was harsh because of the type of contact, and then the proximity of teammates to denying a goal scoring opportunity. So I haven't seen it, and I'll have to look at it, quite frankly. But one of the things, VAR is here, and I think everybody throughout the season will have had difficult experiences with it, and some that have gone their way. All I can say is that there's no point me becoming over emotional on the touchline about stuff like that. I think when things go against you, if I'm expecting players to keep their nerve and their calmness on the pitch, we have to do that as well. So I think technology is good for the sport, but clearly this year there's going to be a few maybe teething problems, and you have to accept that things aren't always going to go your way, unfortunately. But until I look at it, I can't really give you a definitive answer as to because it's although it's using technology, it's still down to interpretation, and so there's always going to be some sort of human element in there.
Nuno's just been in here talking about it, and he said he's worried because it's clear the fans don't like the system. Is that a concern that you share?
Well, I think all sports that have introduced technology have had problems. I know cricket now. Tennis obviously was probably the first to introduce it with Hawkeye. I think rugby's got it probably as close to perfect as possible because we can hear the discussion that's going on. Now, I don't think there's been talk, I know, in the last week about how long it takes to get to decision. It's one of those. It's a part of the game that we. I think now it's been introduced. We have to run with it. I've always been a supporter of technology helping officials to make decisions. I think that's what it's there to do, because there's are human beings, and they're going to make mistakes like players and coaches do. So the idea of it is to clarify the situation, and it's talking points every week, but I suppose it stops you asking questions about decisions that managers and coaches make. Maybe, I don't know if that's the talking point. It's the talking point, but it's disappointing to have a player sent off for the second home game on the trot. But we'll deal with it.
How did you feel when Nathaniel did coming into the side?
Well, he had a bad experience last week when he went on a sub and came back off. He's a player who is very self-critical. I think we all know how well he's played for the club, and he's got a real emotional attachment to the club, so he cares a lot, and he would probably say that he's a bit frustrated he's not being able to play as well as he can play, but I thought he was great today. He did what we needed to do. His work rate was exceptional. He did some really good things with the ball, and hopefully today's performance will make him reflect slightly more kindly on himself, because he's a good player. He's a good player.
Nigel, can we expect much in the transfer window, do you think?
What, here or anywhere?
Well, both of them, if you want to.
I suppose the stock answer would be we may do something. We don't have we have a few injuries at the moment, but I'm not a believer in collecting players. If we can improve what we have, fine. But I've been very encouraged by the players that we already have. We were talking a few weeks back about not scoring goals, and we've scored 8 goals now in the last 4 games, I think. So we're rediscovering some form, which is going to be important for us. We might need a bit more defensive cover. Who knows? Depends how. Obviously, with Kiko's hamstring injury, I mean, he's been playing so well for us. I've been delighted with his contribution. Again, as a player, he's a really top lad as well. So we'll have to look at that. But I don't want to suggest that we as a club are going to be going out there and trying to add lots and lots of players. We'll do what we think's right to give us a more realistic chance of retaining our Premier League status, and that's really all there is to it.
Nigel, has anything surprised you about this job so far?
Has anything surprised me? Well, I suppose the only way I would look at it is that because of the types of performances that the players have produced, I suppose what surprises me is why we've not been able to do that for more of the season. I know, and talking to a lot of the staff here and the players as well, they would say that there have been times that they've played well and been a little bit unlucky, but I think with the players that we have, it's probably a surprise that we're in the condition that we're in and the circumstance that we're in, but and maybe as a reflection on myself, I'm probably surprised that I'm enjoying it as much as I am. But because quite frankly, I'd sort of, in my own mind, I'd sort of semi-retired. I was not really looking to get back into work, and it came out of the blue, so that was a surprise for sure. But now that I'm back working, I'm enjoying the challenge. I'm not naive. I don't, I've already talked about saying that the players mustn't think this, but I'm not naive. I know that we've still got an awful lot of hard work to do, but both Craig and myself have come into it and just said, look, let's give everything we can to it and see where it takes us. I'm quite pragmatic about it, really.
Is it true that you were interviewed for the Sunderland job but missed out?
No, it's not. I didn't feel it was. Right for me, and I think, okay, so if I go into a club and I'm expecting people to give absolutely everything, if I'm not totally prepared to commit to something myself, it's hypocritical to do that. So, you know, as I've said, I wasn't really particularly looking to get back in. I'd sort of, in the UK, I mean, I would work abroad again for sure, because I really enjoyed working abroad. But of course, opportunity to work in a Premier League club changes the complexion somewhat, because I didn't think I'd get another chance in the Premier League, for sure.
Click here for more videos.
Perfect.